Hello and a very warm welcome to you all. I'm Meha Bhardwaj-Alter and this is Game On. Let's talk about the third and what is going to be a big T20I for India. They are trailing the 5-match T20I series 0-2 against the West Indies, and if the hosts win tonight, it will be their first series win since 2016. So it's a huge moment for them, but it's also a big question mark over the Indian cricket team and their performance. They've been let down by their batting, and some of the batters are auditioning for the World Cup in October. So it doesn't look good when you are the #1 ranked team in T20Is in the world and you lose to the #7th ranked West Indies. But India can bounce back. What should Hardik Pandya do tonight? We have Chetan Narula who joins us on the show, and Kushan Sarkar is with us as well, who will both agree that India have a huge problem in their middle order come the World Cup, and so far the two players who are auditioning in this T20I series for a spot in that middle order have raised more questions, have raised more eyebrows, but we haven't got any answers with their performances. So Kushan, it's not going to get easier for Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid.
No, certainly not, Meha, unless you have a straightaway, if KL Rahul and Surya are declared fit before the Asia Cup, both are playing the Asia Cup, then it's a straight choice. You don't have too many, you don't have to tinker with your middle order because you know who your middle order players are. But if in case both are not fit, yes, there's problem because you do not have players who have actually sealed their places. So probably you will be taking players who are just short of form or out of form, you can say. So that is an issue if both these guys are not fully fit and ready to play the World Cup.
Yeah, but we also have an issue right now with the team that India have in the West Indies. We're going to look at the World Cup squad later, Chetan, and which is that all your batters...
You're talking about the T20?
No, we'll be talking about the T20 as well as the World Cup. I know there's another story that we want to get your reaction on, given that you have broken that story, which is going to be coming up on the show about India's likely core squad for the Asia Cup as well as for the World Cup. But Chetan, there is also a huge problem when it comes to this T20I series, because who would have thought? Yes, we knew West Indies was going to give a fight to India in T20Is, but to think that India are trailing this series, this is going to be a big moment for Hardik Pandya and for the team. They are going to be under pressure tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to lose a series just a year before the T20 World Cup, which is going to take place in the Caribbean, that's not a good way to go about things. Of course, there's a bit of an imbalance in the side, considering that they are also experimenting for the ODI World Cup at the same time, trying to find a balance between the two experimentations regarding the ODI World Cup and the T20 World Cup. But yes, the big problems remain the same because you only have 8 batting options available to you in the West Indies. There is going to be a 4-man tail, which probably doesn't bat too well. And you know what, Neha, this is going to be a used pitch today in today's game. Pitch that was used in the last today as well. So it's going to be on the slower side. Spin is going to be at the forefront in the game. So we have seen on this tour that this young Indian batting lineup doesn't do well when the ball is turning. So fingers crossed they can put in a brave performance today. And of course, Captain Hardik Pandya will have to be on the money with his captaincy calls as well. I mean, yes, we know he hasn't gotten the team that he would probably like, but at certain points, his captaincy also has, left a little bit to be desired.
Interesting you say that he hasn't gotten the team that he didn't want, because that again then raises the question, is this the team that they are playing in the build-up to the World Cup this year? Is that the thought process behind it? Or is it a team where they're going to experiment with players to make sure that they've got a core squad for the World Cup, T20 World Cup next year? But we're going to continue this conversation. Let's set up the game for you. India will take on West Indies in the third T20I at the Providence Stadium in Guyana, with the hope that their batters perform better tonight and India can stop West Indies from sealing the series. India have seen 2 collective batting failures in the first 2 T20Is, with only debutant Tilak Varma playing 2 crucial knocks to help his team. He scored 39 in the first game, hit a maiden 50 in the second game, even as the other batters struggled on the slow pitches in the West Indies. Star batter Shubman Gill, he's not made much of an impact in the series, so far scoring just 7 and 3 runs respectively. His partner Ishan Kishan, he too has not been able to be scoring. He hasn't been able to score the kind of runs that he was scoring in the ODI series. He's managed 27 in the first game and 6 in the second, which leads us to ask the question, will the team management play the informed Yashasvi Jaiswal in place of either Kishan or Shubman Gill? India will also want Surya Yadav and Sanju Samson to score runs in this series with an eye to the ODI World Cup. The team management sees both of them as serious contenders for the Indian middle order, especially since there is still no clarity on the fitness of both KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer. The other big problem in this series has been India's long tail that Chetan was just referring to. When Indian batting collapsed in both the games, India needed 37 of 30 with 6 wickets, and they could not win from there in the first game. In the second, to their credit, Kuldeep Yadav and Arshdeep Singh contributed with 14 of 7, but the team fell short of a par total. And West Indies teams number 9 and number 10, you saw what they did. Akil Hussain, Alzari Joseph batted well to take their team home. So with that in mind, let's talk about what India can do today. Are you expecting any changes tonight? Let's start with Yashasvi Jaiswal. We've all been wanting to see him in coloured clothes. Do you see him getting a chance today? Let's begin with Kushan and then I'll come to Chetan.
I don't know, like if you see this team, they have a set pattern which they don't want to break, and like every match during the ODI series, they felt that they lost the match. You'll find Rohit and Virat playing, but they didn't play. They didn't want to play. They wanted to give chance, and this was their chance. So that's there. Now coming over here, if Ishan is going into the World Cup, he is seriously in the World Cup scheme of things. Probably you want to give him, even if it's a 20-over contest, it's got nothing to do with the World Cup. You want to give him a longer rope. You want him to get that game time because he's not going to Ireland, so he'll again have a break before the Asia Cup, and you want to give him that chance. But having said that, Yashasvi Jaiswal, nearly 700 runs in IPL. Like, how long will you keep him out? Like today, if you don't play him today, you need to play him maybe in the 4th or the 5th match. You got to play him. But I believe that sooner or later, I do not know, like with this team management, with how they work and their bias work, it is very difficult to envisage that they want those changes happening. They want to make those conscious changes. Yashasvi Jaiswal, yes, he should be playing, and if he plays, he should be batting in the top of the at the top of the order. So that is there. And obviously, as you spoke, Neha, Kuldeep Yadav cannot be coming in at number 8. If Kuldeep Yadav is coming in at number 8, then there is something seriously wrong with the kind of composition that you are having in the you are going in.
Yeah.
So yes, obviously it's still 1 year left for the World Cup in the West Indies and the US. So you are free to try out those permutation and combination. And as I see, Rohit Sharma is right now in the United States, and he said that next year we are coming here for the World Cup. So actually, he has still not given up hopes on playing next year's World Cup. Whether he would or not, we do not know. But he hasn't given up on hopes, and a World Cup triumph can change a lot of things, just like a World Cup failure can change a lot of things.
So absolutely.
You never know how things change. In Indian cricket, things change at the last moment.
Oh yeah, we've seen that, and how often have we seen that? But let's also get Chetan's reaction on this. You wanted Yashasvi Jaiswal to get an opportunity in this series. Is today that right moment for him? There is a series on the line, and it is huge, because winning this series would have been something which is, ordinary. But losing this series, that's huge. I mean, I don't think that will be taken lightly.
Well, I mean, we still have the ODI World Cup experimentations going on, so I think we are already focused elsewhere, Meha. But look, Before the series started, I said on the show that Yashasvi Jaiswal has to be your opener for the T20 World Cup next year. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Now that you're 2-0 behind, you have to play him. I would drop Sanju Samson without a second thought. Yes, he's auditioning for the ODI World Cup, but the way he's playing, his shot selection over the last 3 matches, 2 T20s and the last ODI, and not to mention that he's batting at number 5 or 6, he's just wasting everybody's time. In fact, this experimentation is wasting everybody's time, so he's not really contributing much to the team's cause. There is no other option than to play Kuldeep Yadav at number 8 because there are simply no all-rounders left in the squad. So you have to strengthen your batting. Yashasvi Jaiswal to come in, open the innings with either Ishan Kishan or Shubman Gill. One of them drops down to number 3. Sky drops down to number 4. And that's how you strengthen your batting lineup. Drop Sanju Samson for today's game. Simple as that. I don't know if it will happen, but this is how they should go about today's game. There's no doubt in my mind.
Okay. Sanju Samson, has his time run out, as Chetan was saying? Because of, now here's the thing. Sanju Samson's actually done really well in the middle order in ODIs, right? And we know why he is playing this T20I series with that eye on the World Cup later this year, because India is still trying to figure out the middle order. But having said that, the kind of shot that he played, now I know that at number 4 in the last ODI that he played, he scored a 50, looked very good, could have gone on to score a bigger total, but then went for one shot too many. And that has been the problem, right? Consistency, that's the narrative that constantly sticks with him. So, keeping all of that in mind, should Sanju Samson play tonight? Kushan?
I believe, like I agree to an extent with Chetan, that Sanju is wasting his chances. And so if someone's head will be on the chopping block, it has to be Sanju's. But I think the way, again, it's about giving someone a fair go. Probably they want to give Sanju a fair go, the longest rope, before they dump him. Like, if he's failing in 4 or 5 matches over here also, and there's only 150 to show for his effort in the ODI. So, between him and Surya, even Surya hasn't done a hell of a lot, but it will probably tilt the scales in favor of Surya when they select the squad for the Asia Cup or when they select that final 15 for the World Cup. So I believe before that, they want to probably give Sanju and get done away with him, that Sanju Samson, there is this huge uproar. Obviously, he has as big a following as some of the superstars in Indian cricket, and you have this dedicated legion of fans. I'm not saying that his fans would determine what the selectors think, but obviously there is a hell lot of criticism. I have seen selectors speak about it. And even for that matter of fact, Mr. Chetan Sharma during the sting operation spoke about how pressurized they are when they have to pick or drop Sanju Samson. So I believe, but I agree, he's wasting his chances. You cannot give him too many chances. There are too many quality cricketers waiting in the wings, and you cannot be wasting your chances. India right now has a lot of talent. So you cannot take your place for granted. You cannot waste your chances like this. He has literally, like that 50 that he scored, he would have scored 100. No one can just praise him for that 50 because the way he got out. He had enough time to score 100 that day. And that pitch was good enough for him to score 100. Get a big one. He wasted that. Last match also. So, I believe, but again, if you want to give him someone a go, give him a full series probably. So maybe that's what they're thinking, because if you are going to drop Sanju, then are you going to play Yashasvi there in the middle order? I don't know. Yashasvi looks a set player for the top order. As Chetan also said that if he has to play, he has to open in the World Cup. So if you are going to drop Sanju, who are you going to play there?
See, that's the problem. But then that's the thing. You wanted to. You wanted to play Ishan Kishan you are planning to play Ishan Kishan in the middle order in case he does play in the World Cup, but you opened with him throughout the ODIs. So, so there is so much confusion there. No one quite knows what's happening. But now I'm going to ask you $1 million question, guys. Is Yuzvendra Chahal going to get his 4th over today? Is that even going to be possible given how he has been your game changer. He's got wickets in an over, and then suddenly you haven't given him another over. Do you see that happening, Chetan?
These things are very tough to predict. But look, having seen what India has done in the last two T20s, I firmly believe they're trying to experiment with Mukesh Chaudhary in the death over. So unless and until it's, like I said, this is going to be a used pitch. It's going to be even more spin friendly, turn friendly, a bit slow pace. So maybe, yes, maybe. But if Kuldeep is fit, he'll be playing. Akshar, obviously, I don't know if he'll get a bowl because West Indies have some left-handers and they'll wait for that matchup. So I think the bigger question here is Yuzvendra Chahal in contention for the T20 World Cup? Clearly Rohit Sharma doesn't prefer him for the ODI setup, but does Hardik Pandya prefer him for the T20 setup? And if he does he prefer him over Kuldeep Yadav? Because I don't see both of them playing in the same 11 come the T20 World Cup, because that's really not feasible, because you want all-rounders down the order. So hopefully he gets his full quota of overs, and hopefully he makes it to the T20 World Cup at least, because he's been waiting for his chance. 21, 22. 21 he wasn't picked. 22 he was on the bench. So is India's best T20 spinner not going to ever play in a T20 World Cup? That's just inconceivable at the moment.
Yeah, that's a valid point. But the other thing is also, as we've been saying, in the two T20Is that we watched, it's a long tail when you play Kuldeep and Yuzvendra Chahal. And there is no solution really, out there unless you get all-rounders there. And that's something that India has been struggling with now. With this, yes. So with this, especially with this impact sub rule, I don't know if things are going to get easier, because like I said yesterday, we don't have batters who bowl, we don't have bowlers who bat. We don't have the luxury of Yuvraj Singh, Virendra Sehwag, Sachin Tendulkar and what they did, Saurav Ganguly. We don't have that right now. Okay, but the other question is Mukesh Kumar. Is Mukesh Kumar going to the World Cup because of the kind of opportunities that he's been given? Because that's the sense one gets, Kushan. Do you see him playing this series, or do you see someone like an Umran Malik getting a chance, or an Avesh Khan getting a chance today?
I think Mukesh is a better death bowler. Obviously, there will be days when he will get hit. Every bowler will get hit. Dale Steyn got hit number of times in the IPL, a bowler of Dale Steyn's caliber. So Mukesh Kumar will get hit. But yes, he bowls those wide Yorkers really well. He did show those parts during the IPL. But having said that, you're talking about the World Cup, you're talking about T20 World Cup or the ODI World Cup, Neha? Let me just get the clarity.
ODI World Cup. I'm talking about ODI World Cup. In case Bumrah is not fit, we don't know right now.
Now he is in the Asian Games squad. Now the Asian Games ends if India play the final on October 7th. And October 8th, the World Cup starts, and 27th September is your final submission. Obviously, if they feel that they want Mukesh Kumar, even in the standby, they will pull him out and probably put a Yash Thakur in that Asian Games squad who is in the standby for the Asian Games and pull Mukesh Kumar out. They have that option.
Okay, Kushan, are you back? I think we just lost him for a bit. Yes, go ahead.
They're sending Mukesh to Ireland. So, whether they are seeing Mukesh, because you have Mohammad Shami, you have Jasprit Bumrah, you have Mohammad Siraj, and you have Hardik Pandya. So, you have 4 pacers over there. So, you are looking at a 5th one, which can be Shardul Thakur or Jaydev Unadkat, depending on your preference. If you want a left armer, but Shardul Thakur should win that battle with his better batting capabilities and better performances throughout. So, where is the place for a 6th bowler in the World Cup squad of 15? Yes, you can have him in the standby. Obviously, with pacers, you never know who actually pulls a hammy, a calf or an ankle or a back. So, you never know that with pacers. So, he should be there in the mix, but in the 15, with your 3 main pacers, Hardik Pandya and probably one among Shardul and Unadkat, I don't see him there in that 15 until and unless there is some serious injury concerns in the interim.
Okay, now in another big story that we've just got, which is we've all been wondering when India will announce the Asia Cup squad. We've already seen how Australia have announced their provisional squad. So this is in fact news that has come in PTI, and it's a story done by Kushan Sarkar, where we've got the core squad. Let's put that core squad up. This is the core squad for the Asia Cup and for the Australia series that India play before the World Cup and then possibly the World Cup. This is more or less what the team management selectors have zeroed in on. Now these are the names on your screen. Two names that stick out for me straight away. There is a Shreyas Iyer and there is KL Rahul there, which means that these two players in all likelihood are going to be fit. Whether they'll be selected in the squad will again depend on, right towards the end whether they've got that fitness certificate, but they are very much in India's plans for the Asia Cup, for the World Cup. It'll now come down to match fitness. It'll come down to whether they can play 50 overs, which will be important. It's not a T20 World Cup, 50 overs, Asia Cup as well as World Cup. Can they sustain themselves in those 50 overs? So that's what will be crucial. The other names that stick out for me are Jayadev Unadkat. Now Chetan, Jamie, they've been saying this on the show that it seems like the team management's very keen on Jayadev Unadkat in the squad, especially because Jasprit Bumrah is coming back from an injury. Hardik Pandya may or may not bowl his quota of 10 overs. So then you need another fast bowler, and I think that's the reason why he's there. But now let's also get Kushan's reaction on this and tell us how he's got this core squad. And if India were to trim down this squad to 15 players, who would be the ones left out and what will be the dilemma that the team management will face right now? Chetan, Kushan, and then I'll come to Chetan.
Yuzvendra Chahal, Sanju Samson, Sanju Samson. I think it could be Shreyas Iyer. His fitness is still 50-50, 60-40 kind of. The KL Rahul for sure is going to play the World Cup. Even if he doesn't start in the Asia Cup, he will be there in the Australia series. He is going to play the World Cup until unless something seriously goes wrong. If he is on right track, he is nearly fit to play, return to play. So if you ask me about I gave around 19 names. So Yuzi Chahal, Sanju Samson, Shreyas Iyer and Mukesh Kumar are the players probably who will find the place in the 15. Shreyas Iyer primarily because of fitness, the other three because of combination. That's what I feel. If Shreyas Iyer plays, then probably Surya Kumar Yadav might, there could be a chance there that whether Surya would make it or not. But then if Shreyas is there, then probably your 15 is set.
Shardul Thakur is there.
Akshar Patel for me clinches the place as the third spinner. Though I think Yuzvendra Chahal was a better bet. But as like if you are not playing him in the, if you didn't give him even a single match in the West Indies series, then there is, you are not thinking in those lines. Like you have given an indication of how you are thinking. You have given Kuldeep all the 3 games.
Yeah.
You have given Akshar a fair go. You have even given Akshar a chance to bat at number 4. So you are seriously looking at Akshar as one of your reserve options. So possibly Yuzvendra Chahal doesn't make it. For me, they should have probably thought about, I do not know whether they are still thinking about or not, that if they think about a left field option like Ravichandran Ashwin, because you have so many left-handers in so many squads, and such a bowler of Ashwin's caliber on Indian track, I do not know, like maybe they are not thinking in those lines, but if they are thinking in those lines, it's not actually a bad call per se. If you are thinking about the third spinner, like you have Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel, doesn't give you that option. Yeah, if Jaddu is fit, you are playing Ravindra Jadeja. But if you are not playing Ravindra Jadeja, you should have some different kind of an option. Why a like for like option? So, but Ashwin, I do not know. If they are not picking him for Asia Cup, probably he is not there in the scheme of things. Maybe not. I'm just saying that because the kind of bowler, the kind of quality, the kind of thought process that Ravichandran Ashwin brings in. So you could have tried, and he's not a bad batter either. He is a good batter. Like his batting at times, I believe, is understated.
You know, the sense that I get is that this is along expected lines, but this still does not answer some of the most important questions, Chetan. One is your contingency plan in case KL Rahul is not fit, in case Shreyas Iyer is not fit. Now, Kushan said that KL Rahul is fit. He may not be playing the Asia Cup, but he will be fit for the Australia series. What if he doesn't perform well in the Australia series?
Well,
So at what point, at what point do you say that, you know what, he may have come back, he may have done what he has in the middle over for India in the last 2 years. He was a perfect choice, but he is coming back after an injury. And there are so many things that could be the reason why he's not doing well. My problem is that, which is what we saw in the T20 World Cup as well, like how he was rushed in Asia Cup. You remember that before the T20 World Cup. So that's one problem. And the middle order is a concern. Even, I mean, I was looking at Hardik Pandya as well. He hasn't been doing well with the bat. If KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer are not fit, then your number 3, 4, 5, 6, that's a problem. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, no disrespect to the story that Kushan's written, but I think this core group of players, it's pretty obvious given how India has performed in the last 2-3 ODI series, the kind of selections that they have made. So this was a pretty obvious choice given, you know, this particular group of players. Maybe a couple of names here and there, some of them are maybe clashing with the Asian Games like Mukesh Kumar we were talking about. But look, this is pretty much on expected lines. In terms of the contingency, Meha, that you said, I agree with Kushan. I fully expect KL Rahul to recover for the World Cup. But obviously the question is going to be about playing time, being match fit, having those number of overs under his belt, having spent time at the crease, scoring sufficient number of runs. So that's going to be a bit of a gamble, really. And that is the case when such injuries come across. I think he will be fit enough to play for the second leg of the Asia Cup. Probably will not start the Asia Cup, where we will get our answer as to who is the other player that India is zeroing down upon for number 4, whether it's Ishan Kishan or Shubman Gill, or are they going to give Sanju Samson a shout at number 4? Because Rohit Sharma obviously will open at the Asia Cup in the opener against Pakistan, then probably against Nepal as well. So after that game against Nepal, we have a week's break, and that's when I expect both Bumrah and KL Rahul to come up in India's first choice playing 11. Apart from that, if we have to cut names from the squad, obviously Yuzvendra Chahal, I don't see him making the ODI World Cup. Sanju Samson, definitely not. And I still think it's going to be a shout between Jaydev, Unadkat or Mukesh Kumar as a backup. What they can do is they can name a squad and say, okay, you know what, 2-3 players are on the standby, and because the World Cup is in India, so they are traveling with the team. It's not going to be that big a problem, really. You can bring in the substitute if there's an injury or anything immediately. So yeah, I think that's how it's going to be. The concern over the middle order, I mean, all of us are having sleepless nights about that. Everybody except the selectors and the team management. So either they know more than us, or they are like not really giving any worries about it. I mean, they're not losing sleep about it, not raising their blood pressure about it. It is a weakness, and we have discussed it so many times. The KL Rahul is there; he's lost in at number 4, 5 for Hardik, and 6 for Sky, and then Ishan Kishan sits out or Shubman Gill sits out, which is obviously a weird possibility, but that's probably how it is going to happen. So regarding the other spinner thing that Kushan was saying, I think Akshar Patel will be in the squad. It's just a question of whether you want the extra spin all-rounder or the extra pace all-rounder in your playing 11. So the toss-up is always going to be between Shardul and Akshar Patel. But Kuldeep Yadav is going to be Rohit Sharma's main weapon, because because you're not picking Ravichandran Ashwin, Kuldeep Yadav's angle helps attack the left-handers because he can bowl the googly, the ball can come in, the ball can leave the left-handers. So I think Kuldeep Yadav with his left arm unorthodox wrist spin is somebody that Rohit Sharma will be relying on. But just like Sanju Samson, I'm a little concerned about his temperament because if he gets hit, he can sometimes give up a little too early. He needs that bit of talking to, he needs that bit of counseling even between the matches. So I'm not sure he can lead the spin attack, but it seems like he is Rohit Sharma's first choice.
Now, it's not just you and me who's having sleepless nights over India's middle order. Yuvraj Singh, he has spoken about how that could be a problem for the Indian team come the World Cup. Let's put that quote up of Yuvraj Singh where he says, number one, don't experiment in pressure games. And also talks about India's middle order and where the problem lies. So if you could put that quote up of Yuvraj Singh, and I'm going to put that question then to Kushan and to Chetan. So this is what Yuvraj Singh has said. He says if your openers are out early, you need to build a partnership. Middle order batsmen are not simply flamboyant stroke makers that occupy the crease and start hitting. He has to absorb pressure, leave a few balls and create a partnership. It's a difficult job. Somebody has to be experienced over there, and Yuvraj Singh played a wonderful role. We all remember that in the 2011 World Cup. He also goes on to say, I can be a patriot and say, let's put that quote up as well. I can be a patriot and say India will win because I'm an Indian, but I see a lot of concerns in the middle order because of injuries. If those concerns are not resolved, we will struggle, especially in pressure games. Don't experiment in pressure games. The skill work to bat in the middle overs is very different from that of an opener. Is there anybody there in the team management who's working around the guys that will be playing in the middle order? That's the question mark. The middle order is not ready, so someone will have to make them ready. And that's where I think the bigger question is also this whole idea of a floater, which now seems to be something that you want to do in ODIs as well. And it's not as simple as that, Kushan. You know, you cannot get somebody to open, let that person come in the middle order as and when you want to. There are specific players, yes, who can do it, but middle order is it's not easy. It's a tricky place to be batting in ODIs where you've got to pace your innings, you've got to know, you've got to know which balls to not hit and, which are the shots you want to go for, right?
That is precisely the reason why, Meha, that I am not counting Ishan Kishan's runs in the West Indies. 3 half centuries, fantastic. It's good for him. He has got those runs. He has stacked up the numbers. It helps his confidence. But does it help the team in any way? Because if in the World Cup or in the Asia Cup he is not starting as an opener, then how does it help the team? He is batting. If supposedly KL Rahul is injured and he is your first keeper, obviously, for obvious reasons, you're going to make him bat at number 5 because Rohit Sharma at some point of time is going to come up and take that slot in the top of the order, and Shubman Gill has an average of 65, so he is not going anywhere. He's going to bat at the top of the order. So have you given Ishan Kishan that confidence if he has to bat in the middle overs during that phase where the field will be open? He's not getting that cushion of having the 2 fielders outside and hitting the balls during the power play. So you haven't experimented with Kishan at number 4 or 5 and checked out whether he's ready for that role. Because when you are going to play Pakistan, obviously you're not going to experiment like you did against the West Indies in the West Indies. So obviously the question lies over there. Who is your best player of spinners at that rate? It's Shreyas Iyer. Shreyas Iyer is your by far the best in the available option. Is your best player of spin bowling in Indian conditions, but you still do not know. There is a high possibility that he might not make it. So what happens? And Ishan Kishan against off spinners, against the ball that turns away during those middle overs, I do not know. The jury is still out.
Okay, you don't know, but Ashwin knows, because this is what Ashwin has said. And let's put that quote up. He thinks Tilak Varma can do the job, at least can be your contingency plan. This is what Ravichandran Ashwin has said after watching Tilak Varma. And I know it's too early. I can see Chetan shaking his head. But this is what he said. The emergence of Tilak Varma has made everyone take notice of him. He looked an imperious touch even on that slow pitch in first T20I. His batting style is very unlike for an Indian making his international debut. His game resembles a lot like Rohit Sharma. He sweats on the pull shot. Generally, Indian batters won't set up to play the pull shot. It is something they develop later, but his game looks like he has a natural pull shot and sends the ball outside the rope like an Aussie batter. He also then talks about how it's neck to neck. Let's put that quote up with respect to the World Cup. And he says, so will they think about Tilak Varma as an option if we don't have enough backups? Because Sanju Samson has performed really well in ODIs, but the exciting part about Tilak Varma is that he's a left-hander. And Team India is lacking left-handers. Jaddu is the only left-handed batter in the top 7. And look at the off-spinners from all the top teams. Australia have Ashton Agar, England have Moeen Ali and a leggy in Adil Rashid. So most teams don't have a finger spinner to challenge left-handed batters. He's figured it all out. I don't know when he gets the time, but he seems to have time for everything. To come back, play whatever cricket that he can. He's figured it out. That is why the emergence of Tilak is crucial. Chetan.
Meha, we are a country of 1.4 billion people. At least 1 billion people follow cricket like crazy. We could have general elections as to who should bat at number 4. I'm very serious about it. And whoever wins the general elections can bat at number 4. Ravichandran Ashwin obviously knows a lot more cricket than I do. So, all due respect, yes, Tilak Varma is an option. But does he really see him, coming into the playing 11 or even the 15-man squad as a pure batsman, even as a backup? It's too short a notice. What happens if it fails? Obviously, the other options are also not working out. But I think it's not a bad option. It's not a bad thought per se. But given his lack of experience, given that he's still coming up, it would be a very, very left field option, a very, very left field decision. I would not be against it because at least, like Yuvraj Singh said, it would be somebody who's experienced enough to bat in the middle order and not a makeshift opener who's batting in the middle. So that is the only positive that I see from this particular suggestion. But again, like I said, it's a very, very left field thought. And just going back to what Yuvraj Singh said, I miss Yuvraj Singh. I mean, since 2011, we've been trying to fill that gap. I remember those 2 knockout matches. The quarterfinal in Ahmedabad, India lost its top order. He won the game for us. The semi-final, India lost its top and middle. Suresh Raina won the game for us, batting at number 7. And you compare that with 2015 and 2019, India got to the semi-final because obviously the format of the tournament allowed India to get to the semi-final. But again, what happened in the semi-final? In 2015 in Sydney, we lost the top order. We had a makeshift number 4, makeshift middle order. Couldn't work.
Yeah.
Same in 2019, lost the top order. We had a makeshift middle order. Did not work. So Yuvraj Singh is on the money. You probably missed one sentence. I don't think India will win the World Cup. I'm pretty sure India will not win the World Cup if they're going with another makeshift at number 4. Pretty sure about that.
But anybody other than Shreyas Iyer is a makeshift number 4 right now.
Well, yes. Unless KL Rahul comes back. Or if they decide that either Ishan Kishan or Shubman Gill, they bat at number 4 and they stop this tomfooling around with opening. Yes, whatever happened in West Indies, you gave us sleepless nights, all of that. Keep aside from the Asia Cup, Ishan Kishan or Shubman Gill bats at number 4 and you stop experimenting, stop fooling around with that position. Give them, 6, maybe 5 games in the Asia Cup, 3 games against Australia, 8 matches is good enough in today's level. And remember, Ishan Kishan has batted in the middle for Mumbai Indians. So it's not like he's a complete stranger. It's all about making it work, playing spin better, spending time at the crease, not throwing your wicket away. So he just needs to do that over a lengthier period of time than just 20 overs. So just stop fooling around with that number 4 spot, even if it's a makeshift. Or let's just pray and hope that KL Rahul is fit enough.
But what about Surya Kumar Yadav? How many chances should he be given before they finally say, you know what, we just cannot fit him in?
You asking me?
Yes.
Yeah, I still believe that you can give Surya a chance, and actually you need to define his role. Probably the role clarity has been missing as far as Surya's batting position is concerned. I think 6 suits him because he gets to play his game maybe 15 overs or 18 overs until and unless there is a huge batting collapse that is coming in the first 15 overs. Otherwise, you see him back after 35th over. He plays his game. But obviously now after 2 or 3 seasons of great IPL seasons and international cricket, 2 seasons of great international cricket, teams are figuring out, teams are trying out different things, teams are trying out that hard length on the body and just on or outside the off stump line, where we have even Vidwat Kavirappa has shown that that line could be a problematic line for Surya in the Dalip Trophy. So you can understand the teams are also trying to figure him out as he figures his game out.
Sure.
But again, at number 6, if you're talking about, at number 6, there is no one better than Surya as a finisher. You have to give him that confidence that, okay, fine. Like it happened with Virender Sehwag when he was sent to open the batting in test matches. You were told that you might fail, you can afford to fail. You'll be given at least 10 to 12 test matches, then we'll come back and decide. If it doesn't work, and the rest is how it works, we all know.
Yeah.
He is one of the greatest that India has ever had. So you can know. About Tilak Varma, the same thing. Tilak Varma is not a bad choice, but I'll tell you, Meha, every World Cup, you will have one guy who is actually a left field selection. And we have seen that happen, whether it's 15, 19, like in 11, you had Piyush Chawla who didn't play the World Cup, but Piyush Chawla was there. 15, you had Stuart Binney, because Hardik Pandya hasn't emerged in the scene. You needed that seam bowling all-rounder, and the best possible option out of nothing was Stuart Binney for MS Dhoni. So Stuart Binney was there. He also didn't play. I think he played one match against UAE or didn't play. Now in 2019, you had Vijay Shankar. Strangely, one bad series for Ambati Rayudu against Australia. One ball that had the stumps go cartwheeling and the selectors decided against, and you had Dinesh Karthik in England against a moving ball. Some pretty horrible selections that happened during the 2019 pre-World Cup selection. So Tilak Varma, like Ravichandran Ashwin, is a bona fide insider. We are not insiders. So possibly he knows things that we do not know. Possibly he understands. He's privy to dressing room conversation. If he's throwing a curveball at us, that means he knows that something is there. There is some left field selection, something is happening.
I don't know.
We won't be knowing. So there is that one person that goes.
I really doubt the selectors are discussing that with Ashwin. Remember, he also has to sell his YouTube channel. So
Okay, completely out of time, guys, because I've got to also talk about from Asia Cup to Asian Champions Trophy. India won their match against South Korea, and they have a match against Pakistan tomorrow. But what a match this one was. It was a big moment for Indian hockey team. They beat South Korea in the Asian Champions Trophy to enter the semi-finals. But it's the first time the hosts have beaten South Korea in 5 years. The last time India defeated South Korea was in 2018 Asian Champions Trophy in Muscat. The encounter between the top 2 ranked teams was as intense as one expected. India coming on top 3-2. And with that, they're also now in that number 1 spot in the 6-team leader standing in the points table. Neelakant Sharma, he gave India the lead in the 6th minute, but South Korea counter-attacked, and Kim Song-hyun, he hammered one back past the Indian defense, who was caught napping. Ace drag flicker. Harmanpreet then, he found another gear when the team needed to give India the lead with his 5th goal of the tournament. The hosts then found their 3rd goal through Mandeep, who gave India a 2-goal cushion in the 33rd minute. Korea came back desperate in the 4th quarter, scored their 2nd goal through a penalty corner, but it was too little too late. India are going to be playing Pakistan, by the way, and this is interesting. India will be playing Pakistan tomorrow, and Pakistan are very sure of them doing well against India. In fact, their head coach, he said he had warned that they were aware of India's weaknesses. This is Mohammad Saqlain. This is after Pakistan beat China 2-1. Their head coach said that, they were aware of India's weaknesses. And Craig Fulton, India's coach, wasn't too bothered, said he'll be ready for Pakistan challenge. India have won all 4 of their matches so far. Pakistan have won just 1. They have drawn 2 matches and they've lost 1 game. So that match is tomorrow. Do tune in to that. We wrap this up with this wonderful little video. Now, the Japanese hockey team, they may have lost their Asian Champions Trophy clash against Malaysia, but the team has earned praise from all quarters because of their post-match etiquette of leaving the dressing room sparkling clean. A video posted by Hockey India, as you can see, on Monday showed a member of the Japanese contingent cleaning trash in a plastic bag after the Malaysia defeat. And the video has gone viral on social media with people saying all teams should follow their example. The Japanese sportspersons are known world over for cleaning up after the matches. At the FIFA World Cup in Qatar last year, Japanese football team and their fans, that had also gone viral, that video of them cleaning up the stadium and dressing rooms too. And Japan is one of the cleanest countries in the world. In fact, during that FIFA World Cup, they left a note for the organizers along with a few origami cranes. So that's a wonderful little story to leave you with. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
BrahMos, stealthy, lethal, precise. It flies at 3 times the speed of sound and cuts through a warship like a hot knife through butter. China's navy has threatened its neighbors, and they are turning to the BrahMos for protection. The warship killer. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
They are the apple of someone's eye, holding the kiwi to our heart. We go bananas for them because it takes 2 to mango. Well, they are just perfect. But these bigger, juicier staples are sensing a looming crisis.
About 820 million people in the world don't get enough to eat every day.
As severe malnutrition and the risk of waterborne disease collide.
Their nutritional content has not been keeping pace.
Malnutrition among children below 5 years old has worsened.
Families struggle to feed.
Is our food becoming less nutritious?
Human bodies need a certain amount of nutrition to survive, and we can only eat so much in a day.
Why do we still have millions of people going hungry?
What we're facing right now is unprecedented perfect storm within a perfect storm.
Biotechnology is driving a transformation in human health.
जैसा अन्न होता है, वैसा ही हमारा मानसिक और बौद्धिक विकास भी होता है.
Accelerating a nutritional moonshot to grow the healthiest food.
Food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food.
Yeah. And driving the taste of the future.
जय जवान, जय किसान, जय विज्ञान, जय अनुसंधान.
Our body needs fuel to do everything it must do. That fuel, of course, comes from food, and almost all the food we eat comes from the soil. One of the most important jobs is transforming nutrients. But over the past 70 years, they have been dropping.
The soil is being damaged and there's not enough nutrition which is coming from the soil.
What is causing damage to the soil? Intensive agriculture, using excess of water, use of synthetic fertilizers, use of pesticides.
Studies have shown we are seeing a decrease in the nutrient content in the crops.
Fruits, vegetables, and grains grown today carry less protein, calcium, phosphorus,